Hi guys, and welcome to another Bootstrap 4 tutorial. This is Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Well, in our video yesterday we just learned how to switch our slider here from sliding images to fading images. Like that. And today we're going to add this little section right here. It's sort of centered content. It's a sort of headline thing. So if you've got some important information, it's a nice little section to put into your little site there. Very easy to do. We're going to steal a bit of code to do this today and then customize it as usual, make it our own. So let's get started. I'm going to close down this site and the site we've been building. Here's my site with all my files and folders in it. I'm just going to double click on the index and it should open it in my browser of choice here. And as you can see, this one doesn't have that section on it. If I go back to that folder, I also want to open this with our Brackets software. Brackets is a free text editing software. If you don't have it, you can download it from a link below this video. Any text editor will do though, but I just happen to be using Brackets. It's great, it's free. Like I say, if you need one, download it from the link below there. So here's our HTML for our site that we'll be working on in a moment. Okay, and we're going to go to our Bootstrap code snippet site that we've been using on here. And again, I'll put this URL below the video here so you've got it if you choose to do it this way. And the section we're actually going to add today is this full page image header. Now, if you just click on it, it'll give you a kind of demo of here it is right here. And we're going to sort of take it and we're going to customize it to what we kind of want here. And once you've got it open, you'll see they've got the HTML code, CSS code. Don't think there'll be any JavaScript. No. And we've already got this built into our site, so we don't need any of these resources. This is just to make this particular thing function. So if we go back to our HTML, the bit we actually want, we don't want their navigation. This is it, the full page image header with vertically centered content. So let's grab all of this. Don't have to grab that title if you don't want to, but I'm going to. And I'm going to hit Control C to copy. And I'm going to open up our brackets and decide where we actually want to put it. So if we look at our site, I'm going to put it down between services and our team. So if we go to brackets again, we go down, there's our carousel, here's our about section, here's our services section, and here's our team section. So there's the end of the services section, beginning of the team section. I'll drop down a couple, and I'm going to paste it in what I've just copied right there. I'll move that across to start. Okay. Grab that. I'm going to just hit the tab key to move it across. Now, first thing I'm actually going to do here is just giving it a header section. I just want to make it a regular section like these ones below purely because we've already got a header section up here. So I'm just going to make it a normal section by changing the word header to section. We'll leave the class name. It'll still have the class name. Because we've changed the name on the opening tag, we've got to change it on the closing tag, which is highlighted red for us there, telling us that there's something not quite right. There we go. Simple as that. Okay. Now then, if we go back to our snippet site, let's go over to the CSS this time. And here we've got the CSS we need. So let's copy that from the dot. Make sure you get that dot all the way to the closing curly bracket. Now we want to go back to our folder, and inside our folder we got a CSS folder with our CSS sheet in it here, our cascading styling sheet that with our styles. So we want to right click and open that with brackets. I'm going to go down to the bottom and put this bit of CSS at the bottom here, but I'm going to give it a title just in case we want to find it easier. So it's // backup, and in between you can put your title, because the // comments anything out, so it won't get read as code. I'll just call this masthead. Just makes it easier to find stuff if you give it titles like that. Drop down one, Control V to paste, and there's our code right there. Control S to save. With brackets, I don't know if you can see that, I've got two little dots up there. That means I've made some changes and not saved. If I hit Control S now, you'll see that CSS one disappear. There we go. Now if I go to my index and hit Control S, you'll see that one disappear, both saved. So now if we go back to our site, let's move that one out of the way. When I refresh, we should have, I think we put it between these two, a new section between these two. So let's just refresh. There it is, which is great. Of course, we want to make it our own, and anything inside there is nicely vertically centered because of the CSS. So at the moment, it's full height. It's full screen height. And we can change that with the CSS unless you particularly want it to be full height. If we go back to our CSS, here's the CSS we put in. Height, 100 viewable height. If we make it 50, it'll be half the viewable area, etc. So let's just make that 50 for argument's sake. You can leave it or change it. There we go. And we've got something that looks more like a section than a big header, because perhaps if I was to put it up the top, I'd have it full width like that. But down the bottom here, I just want it as a little section like that, so that's fine. Okay, well, we want to make it our own. We want to obviously make it say what we want to say, and perhaps add a couple of call to action buttons here. So we got some buttons. I'm just going to steal some from our slider up here, or our carousel up there, and change that text to something that I want. So if we go to our brackets, okay, let's go to our HTML. Let's go up to where our slider is. Here we go. And let's grab those two buttons there. Control C to copy. One of them doesn't have a link, looks like, but that's fine. Let's go down. Here we are, here's our new section. I'm going to put it under that. There's the header, vertically centered masthead content. There's the subheading there. Let's put our buttons just under those. So again, I'm just going to hit Control V to paste what I've just copied. And okay, let's see, here's the anchor link. Obviously didn't put it on that last one. There's the closing link. Let's just copy that. That way this button's going to link to something as well. Telling us we got a problem. It's because we haven't put a closing anchor tag on the end of there. Okay, learn more, and that's going to price. So contact us. Well, we've got a contact section down here. I'm pretty sure it's got an ID of contact. There's price. There's contact with an ID of contact. So we just need to put in hashtag contact for it to go down there. So hashtag, that's the contact. So hashtag content instead of price. Contact. So that will now go down to the contact section. Okay, let's save that. Control S and see what we've got. Go back to the site. Now when I refresh, we should have our 2 call to action buttons down there. There we go. That's fine. And that one should take us to contact, which it does. And this one should take us to pricing, which it does. That's fine. Very easy to do. And of course you can make those links go to external pages or a different page or wherever you want it to go. We've just got them going to anchor tags on our site here. Alright, well let's make that what we want, and let's change the background image to something that we want perhaps. So back to our HTML. And I'll just put really important content. Goes here. There. Save that. Back to the site and refresh. There we go. Alright, so we kind of made it our own there, but let's change this background image. And this background image is being applied with some CSS, that CSS we copied over. So if we go back to our brackets, go to our CSS, scrolling nav CSS. Here it is, the background image, and there's the URL of the image. They're pulling this from a website called Unsplash, which is a fantastic place for free stock photos. But let's put in something that perhaps we want. So I'm going to go to Unsplash. It's unsplash.com. Got it open here. And you can simply, I put in a search for light textures. And this is what came up. And you can click on an image, hit the arrow, and it'll download the image for you. If you want to give them a donation or say thanks or a tweet, you can do so here. It's not a bad idea. They give us a lot of free stuff. So once you've got your image downloaded, let's put it in to a file here. Here's our site file. And I'm going to put it in where I've got my other images, which is in the root folder or the starting folder where all our main website files are. So I'm going to put it in there. And I'm going to rename it BG1. And it's not going to be that image. It's going to be a different one I downloaded because that's a bit dark for what I want there. So there we go. I've got my BG1 image in there. If I change this, you should be able to see it. Large icons perhaps. There we are, that BG1. Now, it's in our root folder, which is fine. And our CSS is in a folder called CSS. So to tell it to get back to this folder, to this image, we've got to make it back up a little bit. So let's open our CSS again here. Now I'm going to go in, I'm going to delete that URL. I'm going to keep the inverted commas there. Make sure you keep the inverted commas. Then I'm going to back up a folder. So it's going from the CSS folder. It's going from that folder. It's going to back up out of there into this folder. And we do that by simply typing ... and /. And as you can see, it's found all my images in there, and there's my image. Or you can type in your image name. So it's backed up to that to the root folder, and there's the actual image there. And if you hover over it, it should show you that image. There we go. Now I'll hit Control S to save. And back to our site. And refresh, and our image should now be behind there. There it is. That's great. Now you can do all kind of things with it. You can change where it is at the moment. I think it's centered. If we look at our CSS, yeah, background position centered. If I put it on the bottom, it'll put the bottom of that image right on the bottom line there. So if there's a difference in the image, I think it's lighter down at the bottom half, it'll show a lighter background. So let's save that, Control S, back to the site. And of course you can do it for top or however you want to do it. There we go. It's a little lighter down the bottom there, and that makes that stand out a little bit more. Alright, one other thing we can do, we can make that move a little bit in the background there by giving it a background attachment fixed. It's kind of mock parallax. It's not really parallax, but a lot of people call it CSS parallax, and it's just a nice effect. So let's go ahead and do that. And I'm going to say background attachment. That's right there. I'm just going to click on that. I'm going to say fixed, which means it stays where it is when the screen scrolls. So if I save that, Control S, back to the site. Let's just tidy that up first. There we go. Control S, back to the site. Now when I refresh, initially you won't see a difference, but when I scroll, you can see that background staying still. It's fixed. Alright, that's pretty much all I really wanted to do with this. Just show you one other thing. You know, we were on that Unsplash site here. You can link to a website image. You don't have to download it to your site like we did with that one. And if you want to do that, just go to the image you want, click on it. Then right click. I'm in Google Chrome here. This is how you do it in Google Chrome. And copy image address. Now we've got that image address. If we go to our custom CSS, where we put in the URL of our locally stored image, again, you can delete that. Keep those inverted commas though. I want to keep those inverted commas. And just paste in the URL we just copied. There it is. Control S to save. Now go back to the site. And when I refresh, it should have that new image in the background there. There we go. Which is great, and a lot of people do that, but the only drawback with that is if you're not in control of their site, and if they remove that image or change the URL of it, you're not going to have that image anymore. So like I say, it works. It's an option. So that's entirely up to you. Just bear in mind if the site that hosts that image changes it, you're going to lose your image here. Okay, one other thing is if perhaps you want to put a darker background in, that's no problem at all. Let's just go find a dark background one. Close out of there. And there happens to be one right there that I used on the other one. So again, I'm just going to left click on it till it opens up. Right click, copy image address. Back to the CSS. Replace it with the URL I just put in there. Remember not to overwrite those inverted commas. Make sure your URL goes within those inverted commas. And I wasn't paying attention, but I'm pretty sure I just pasted that in there. So let's save that. Control S, back to the site. And of course, if it's worked, we've got a dark background, so you're not going to be able to see the writing very well. There it is. The writing's actually there, but you can't see it because it's black on black. And to make that writing light, Bootstrap 4 makes it really easy for us. If we go to our HTML, back to the HTML, and all we have to do is this div. If you click on the opening one, it will show you the closing one with brackets with all our content and our buttons in there. Where it says text center, just after that you can put the class of text light in there, and that'll change all that text to a white color or a light color that will stand out on that background. So Control S, back to the site, refresh, and there you have it. Very easy to read. Got a nice little interesting semi-parallax or fixed background section there. And it's just another little section that's going to stand out in your website should you need to get some information noticed quickly. It's a nice little trick to do. So I hope you've enjoyed that and found it useful. If you have, please give it a thumbs up, share and subscribe to our YouTube channel. If you're interested in web development, take a look down below. We've got some great free courses down there, as well as some premium courses with some huge discounts for our YouTube subscribers, so do check it out. Once again, this has been Jamie from System22 and webdesignandtechtips.com. Thanks for watching. Have a great day.